Hi, I'm going to show you how to create a Google site for your class. So you want to search Google site in a new Google site or a new Google search. You want to make sure you're using a new Google site rather than the classic Google site. And you can choose from any of these templates here. I'm going to choose a class to show you how to get started, but anything that I show you tonight, you can use with any of the templates. So a class template has three main pages: a home page, a schedule page, and a newsletter page. The reason I like the class template is it has some components that are really conducive for a class website. So I'm going to show you how to first rename your class site. So in this top corner here, this is what your students will see. So I'm going to say 7th grade science, and maybe you include the year. Up here, this could be for your eyes only. So you could say, in this case, you could say like period 1, or you could say honors, whatever it is. I'm just going to leave mine as 7th grade science. I'm going to put this as the year. So now you have a header for your website that you can customize to make it a little more unique and make it more customized for like your class subject. So to do that, you can change the image by either uploading an image from your documents, or you can select an image from Google. I am going to choose one of these. And then I can also adjust the header type. So I can say I want it to be a large picture, a large banner, a smaller banner, or just the title only. And here you can also rename this to match with the name of your class, or you could say the name of your school or teacher. Anytime you're typing in a text box in a Google site, you can highlight your text and select from this drop-down menu the size of it. You can also change whether it's bold, italicized, or the alignment of it. I personally like the banner, so I'm going to leave it like this. So as I was saying, a class template in a Google site has some nice components, such as a class overview. It shows you what some pictures could look like if you wanted to share pictures with students and family. It has an about me, so about the teacher. It has a section for resources, as well as a place to put really important links. I'm going to show you how to customize this, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can add what are called different blocks. The first way that I'm going to show you is by deleting what they have here and adding in a pre-made layout over here. So when you add a layout, it will oftentimes get added to the bottom of your page unless you have like double clicked into things. A layout is designed to allow you to insert any of the different options available. So this box right here is what they call a placeholder. So it'll allow you to upload a file or an image from your desktop, select something from Google, or insert a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, a Google Slide, or a Google Form. You can also embed a YouTube video, link to a calendar, or even link to a Google Map. Then it has pre-made text here, so this could be your syllabus. And you could say, please read carefully. I select my drive and search over here for my syllabus. You can see that Google will think, and ultimately it will pull it up. You can, like I said, this is a placeholder, and it will allow you to insert any type of document. So I'm going to just choose a PDF. You'll notice right away that when it loads, it's not the correct size. It's too small. So you can drag that blue dot down to make it a full page. And then once your site is published, your students will be able to scroll to the second page as well. There's also an option here for if students want to investigate this document a little bit further, they can open it in a new window. Google Sites is really easily customizable, has a lot of drag and drop features, and one of them being resizing is just as easy as dragging and unclicking. To undo things, you can also use the same keyboard shortcuts as well. So that is one way to add something using a pre-made layout. One of the things I will point out though is that if you say you wanted to, you can delete this and it will keep it the same size. But if, let's say you wanted to change from one image with a caption and subheading to, let's say, 3, it will not replace it. It will only insert a new one. Okay, so the other option to insert a new block, and a block could be a text box, an image, a Drive application, or embedding something like a link, would be to use these little blocks over here. So when you say you want to, let's say, add a text box, it will pop up. You can change the heading here, and I'm going to say helpful links. Okay, you can replace this image. You can also resize it and then replace it, just as I showed before, just dragging that small corner there. I don't want to include that, so I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to replace that header and with, I'm going to delete that header, and I've replaced it with my helpful links, and then I'm going to drag this up here. So this helpful links section I really like because you can type in the website address like ck12.org for sites that you frequently assign students. This could be BrainPop, this could be CK12, this could be FET, any of your resources that students will be referred to frequently. You also can include websites for parents. So I might include my gradebook and hyperlink it here just by selecting and then clicking the paperclip here. You could also include links to school forms. So this could be field trip permission slip, anything like that. You can resize this text box the same way, dragging over. And then you can replace these images here. One of the things you'll notice is that there are 2 options when you select on this image that you might not necessarily know. The first one most people know is crop, but this is actually uncrop. So if I want to replace the image, and I have some sweet pictures from my second year of teaching, it's automatically cropped it to fit the size of that text box or of that image box. If I click uncrop, it will zoom out and you can see the whole image, or you can crop it yourself. You can also zoom in. Let's say we just want just my face, which is so amazing, right? Just as you could control it that way. All right, so the third way, as I said, there are 3 ways to add things to your Google site, is to click. So I'm in just a little blank spot right here. Let's say I want to add something in here. I can, besides from, so let me make a placeholder. I'm going to say just save this spot, just so you know where I'm at. So let's say I want to add something next to it. I can double click and this circle will offer up the same options as over here for inserting things. So let's embed something. I can embed by URL, or you could use what's called HTML code. That's a little bit more complex, but it's available for teachers who want to embed HTML. So those are 3 ways to add blocks to your page. The layout for a class has a schedule section, and I really like this because we as teachers are always trying to keep our kids mindful of the schedule, of the calendar, of our units, and there's 2 ways that you can share a schedule with your students. The first is by sharing and embedding your Google Calendar. So I can select my calendar, and you can select one specifically for your classes. I know once you've created your Google Classroom, it'll have one. And you can also control in this setting what view they see. So if you want them to see just the day, the week, or the month, you can control that. And you can also resize it. The other option is by embedding a Google Sheet or Google Doc. Let's see. And I wanted to show you this one because I personally really like this method. When you are embedding a Google Sheet, you can edit the document and it will immediately show up. Those edits will immediately show up in the website. Again, just like you can control what view the students see, you can also control what sheet the students see on your spreadsheet. So I don't want them to have a whole calendar year. I just want them to focus on August. And I can do that. I can also resize it. And if I drag it, Google will start to tell me when it's even. So now I can, if I wanted to, I could link to a particular assignment in this Google Sheet as well. One of the things that you'll notice if you choose to embed a Google Calendar is that students will have to click into the calendar to find the assignment. They will have to click the link to the Google Classroom, and then they will be taken to the assignment. So I don't like that as much because it's just a lot of steps. So you can also add pages. In addition to your home page and your schedule page, there's a newsletter page, but let's say I want to make an assignment page. I'm going to click new page and I'm going to say assignments, and it will pop up on here. Let's say I don't want to call it schedule. I want to say calendar. I just want to be really clear. You can rename it easily over here. Now, the other thing you can do is create subpages. So I want all of my assignments to be linked and housed under this larger assignments page. So I'll click on that and I'll click add subpage and I'll say unit 0. You can choose how you want to lay out your units and your lessons. I'm going to go into that later. But one of the things I wanted to show you is if I add another unit 1, one of the great things about this is I can hide from navigation unit 0 once I've moved on to unit 1, so that now when students click on this assignments over here, they don't even see unit 0 as an option. So I'm making sure that they're not being over stimulated or they're confused by having too many options there. So that is a great way to kind of control things. The other thing is you can also link. Let's say on your home page, you want to say, I want to say this week's assignments. You can make a hyperlink, right, by clicking on whichever units or even lesson pages if you wanted to do it that way as well. Or if you wanted to make it fancy, you could come over here and there's some more options that are a little bit more complex down here. You could say, I want to make a button that says this week's assignments. And then you could link it there to let's say I want it to link to Unit 0. As you saw, it did add it to the bottom of the page, but I can move that around. And just by dragging it up, and the blue line will show me where it will go. There are some things that I can double click and add things to. And there are some of the options over here that when I click them, they'll create whole new segments over here. So it takes a little bit of playing around with, but one of my things that I really like is to use a placeholder when I'm designing the layout, rather than selecting one of the pre-made layouts or even trying to build it from here, because it gives you a lot of options to play around. So next week, I will show you 2 different ways to organize your assignments page, depending on maybe your grade level or just personal preference.